2016 is a presidential year, and as you would expect, candidates from across the aisle are talking about public policy. Joining me now to talk about national public policy as it relates to retirement plans is the president of Empower Retirement, Mr. Ed Murphy. Ed, thanks for joining us on the show today.
Thank you, Jeff. Pleasure to be here.
The Pension Protection Act was an example, I think, around success. I mean, the Pension Protection Act allowed for the adoption of auto features, auto enrollment, auto escalation, the adoption of target date funds potentially and other managed accounts as a qualified default investment alternative. From your perspective, and you've seen it evolve over the last 10 plus years, is this surprising that you would expect this to take off and that target date funds would see such a large growth in assets over the last decade or so?
Not entirely. I mean, I think that, first of all, I think the Pension Protection Act was a classic example of, again, the private sector coming together with the public sector. And that legislation was profound in many ways in the sense that it really put in motion the defined contribution system. And, you know, if you think about plans today in general, but if I just think about Empower in particular, if I look at the clients that we have that have auto enrollment, the participants that are enrolled in plans with auto enrollment are on track to replace about 82% of their income in retirement. And that's what we focus on in Empower. These retirement systems are all about income replacement, right? If you add auto escalation, it goes up another 10%. So, you know, for anyone out there that sort of takes shots or criticizes the system, we actually have the structures and we have the foundation for success. We just need to expand it. So, you know, we've taken it a step further and we've said, look, if you can get people to save at 10%, you're actually on target to replace greater than 100% of your income in retirement. This of course, includes Social Security. So, one of the things that, frankly, I would like to see is a more aggressive adoption of those features, auto enrollment, auto escalation, and quite honestly, even the whole concept of a mandate requiring that those elements be included in the plan, again, with the opt-out provision, is something that I think we ought to seriously consider. We know it works. We know when someone's enrolled at a higher rate that it's a very, very small percentage that ends up opting out. So it's all about this nudge factor. And quite honestly, that's what you've seen with target dates. When people enroll in target dates, it's sort of a set it and forget it mentality. They've essentially outsourced the management to a third party. And chances are they're going to do better at a target date than they would if they were trying to make those decisions on their own. They're less likely to get emotional with market swings and make hasty decisions.
So, I mean, it's been a resounding success. Clearly, there are ways to improve upon it. One, I think you mentioned, or at least inferred, is around non-ERISA plans. I mean, they're governmental plans. I mean, really, this is a concept, auto enrollment, auto features, are something that every plan sponsor can adopt, not just corporate or ERISA plans. And I think maybe that's a part of the next iteration of the legislation. Wouldn't you agree? Potentially.
Yes, it could be, but I also think that you know, we have clients in the corporate sector, obviously in all segments of the marketplace, and then we do a lot of business with state governments. And what we find is, particularly when we bring those entities together through client forums, there's sharing of ideas and best practices, and so oftentimes you have some of the state plans looking to adopt some of the best practices that have been introduced on the corporate side, and vice versa, frankly. And so some of these advancements, I think, can occur without legislation per se. And then in other instances, it may require an expansion of the rule.
Yep. Certainly the rules vary on the local level, and so there might be garnishment rules and things like that. But these things can be addressed in the legislature. I mean, if those are barriers to entry, clearly the benefits can be seen. And to your point, there's no reason why a state plan sponsor can't adopt a best practice that exists in the corporate or tax-exempt market. So, I mean, it's just a matter of having these forums where people can share an idea. So hopefully we continue to see growth and development in that particular area. Ed, really appreciate your time, and hopefully, 2016, this is a great beginning of the year. Maybe we get some of the candidates, policy advisors on the show as well.
That would be a great idea.
Ed Murphy, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Appreciate it.